So why do you need a newsletter? Well, if you're here tonight, you probably think that it's somewhat important to have a newsletter. So I don't feel like I need to do a ton of convincing, but there are a lot of pros to having an email-based newsletter. One is, even though social media is what it is, there's still, email is still the #1 way of driving sales. Now, maybe you are asking, like, saying like, oh, well, I don't sell anything online. Even if you don't sell anything online, this is an important statistic, because it's not just, oh, if people click through my email, they'd be more likely to buy something. But if they're clicking through your email, they're more likely to be invested in you, whatever that means, monetarily or otherwise, emotionally, intellectually, whatever it is. So when I'm talking through today of like, oh, well, if you do this, you're more likely to have a sale, that also means just more likely to have someone engaging in you, clicking to your website, clicking to your social media content, your blog, whatever sort of content you have out there. And email is still constantly rising. I found this statistic sort of surprising, but from 2018 to 2020, there was an 11% increase in email usage, and 82% of brands out there use email marketing. And I think it's something like in the 70%, I have statistics later on, but in the 70% of consumers choose to get their marketing via email rather than through another means like phone, text messages, social media, whatever. Email is where they prefer to get marketing materials. So this makes sense to choose this for marketing purposes. But also on a more human level, email is a wonderful means of connecting with your audience in a more personal way than you might be able to do otherwise, like on social media or on your website. When someone signs up for your email newsletter, they are choosing to get marketed to by you. They're like approving that sort of communication. And the reasons why they do it can vary, but I think the majority is that they're already a fan of yours, or they're interested in what you do and they want more, right? They want beyond just what's available publicly. So it's a little bit more personal and it's a little bit more in depth than what they would get sort of on the online surface. So understanding your particular audience's motivations will help you choose what content to include in your newsletter. But I think generally we can say, they're interested in knowing more about you if they're signing up for your newsletter or what you do. And a newsletter can also serve to break down some intimidation that some members of your audience might feel when it comes to artists. So they might be really invested in the type of work that you create, but feel like a little bit intimidated by you as a person or you as a capital A artist. And so this helps to add back in a human dimension that they may not get through other means. All right, so hopefully I convinced you. You're like, yes, I'm here, I'm on board already, but thanks. So let's go ahead and go on. So here's just some basics before we hop into the sort of setup things that I wanted to mention. So when you're looking online for information on newsletters, sometimes you'll see people referring to it as HTML newsletters. And so I just wanted to sort of quickly break that down and tell you that just means like the formatted, emails that have color and font styles and images. And that's what you would get if you were using a email marketing platform like MailChimp, for instance. Those are HTML newsletters. There's lots of benefits to using these. Primarily, I'd say the #1 is that they're less likely to get deleted as spam than just a straight up email that you would type into your email server and send yourself manually. It's much less likely to be flagged as spam. It's much more likely to be opened by the recipient, and it just looks more professional and allows for more consistency from newsletter to newsletter, because you can use the same format again and again and again, and it's more recognizable than just text alone, and it can fit in with your overall brand. So what your website looks like, what your social media posts look like, etc.